Good morning, everyone. My name is Amberlin, and we have almost a whole gallon worth of cream here, and we are going to turn it into that miraculous thing called butter. So I have one last gallon here to skim. You can probably see the line of cream. It's about a quarter worth of the gallon, maybe a little better. So recently, Linnae has completely taken her calf off. So she stopped calf sharing and she's weaning her calf. And because of that, we are getting a lot more cream. It was really funny though, because she was still calf sharing the cow and the calf, but the cow wouldn't let all of her milk down, and she was saving all the cream for her calf. So right when Linnae completely took the calf off, she tried holding up her milk as long as she could, but then she just had to give way, and all of a sudden we had a gallon that was over half cream. So if that isn't proof that a cow can hold specifically her cream up for her calf, then we don't know what is. Anyway, there's many things you can do with cream, and we look forward to the day when we can have as much butter as we want. You can make butter with your cream. You can make sour cream, whipped cream, of course, cream cheese, and then of course you can make butter. And with butter you can do a few different things. Buttermilk, which is awesome for your baking, for pancakes and such. Then you can take the butter and make ghee with it. And ghee is traditional oil where you take your butter and you basically cook it down till the solids, the fat solids, separates from the oil. And the ghee is the oil, the butter oil. And that is shelf stable for many months, if not years. And it's incredibly high in fat soluble vitamins, which is extremely important for growing children, for the eyes, for the brain, and of course, women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. Anyway, so we have our cream here. Let this come to room temperature. If you don't let it come to room temperature, you need to beat your cream about 3 times longer than if it's at room temperature. So we use our Vitamix to make our butter, and if the cream is at room temperature, it'll turn to butter in about 30 to 40 seconds. If it's cold, it'll take a few minutes. Something else you can do is you could culture your cream first, leaving it out for 12 to 24 hours, kind of making a sour cream, although it's not as nice to let it go so far as to get really thick, because then it's hard for the blender to beat it. But that will give you a butter that has a bit more tang, a lot more flavor, if you like that strong flavor. Otherwise, you just have a sweet butter with fresh cream. That's at room temperature. So we're gonna let this sit for a couple hours and then we'll be back to beat it into the butter. Hi friends! We hope that you're enjoying the content that we have here on our YouTube channel. We put a lot of time and effort into making our videos educational, fun, and inspiring. We recently removed YouTube ads from this YouTube channel, and that's the bit of revenue that we were receiving from YouTube. So if you have the means and you would like to help financially support the work that we have here on the channel, you can send a donation to the Biegel Family at gmail.com through PayPal or also through e-transfer if you're within Canada. We genuinely appreciate the support that we get from you, be it through comments or emails or even letters in the mail. Thank you, and we hope to see you around. So it's been just over 2 hours that we've had our cream warming up to room temperature. I found that it works best when making your butter to have the cream slightly below room temperature, so just a little cool, and that way when we strain the butterfat through our strainer, it's not so warm or so room temperature that it actually falls through the sieve. So that just tad bit of coolness still in the cream keeps the butterfat in more of a solid mass. So I fill our Vitamix about half full. I turn it on to medium speed, and it should take about 30 seconds. We'll time it. It's turned into butter. It's pulsing. 30 seconds. Now when your cream starts pulsing, then it means the butterfat is separated. Look at that. Beautiful. And here. So we have our just a big bowl here with a strainer, and we pour it all through, and the butter rests on top and all the buttermilk is strained. Do not throw your buttermilk away. Save it for biscuits and baking and pancakes and drinking. If you're gonna drink it, it tastes the very best right after making the butter. After it's sat in the fridge for even a couple hours or overnight, then it gets a little bit more of a sour taste, which is perfect for baking, but I don't find it quite as nice for drinking. Now we don't really disturb it because we don't want the fat to go through the sieve. Just the buttermilk to drip through, and do the same thing again here. Let's just take a look at that. It's starting to turn into whipped cream. You'd have to go a little bit more to get nice and thick. Tra-la-la-la. Look at that. Oh, ho, ho, ho. And you know that your cow is on green grass or green hay when it's yellow. If your butter is white, it's either goat butter. Goat butter is always very white. Cow butter, if it is grass-fed, it has a beautiful yellow tinge to it. And the last load. Now, after this is just kind of roughly strained through, we'll take the buttermilk out and put it in one of our empty cream containers so we're not dirtying more dishes. And I'm sure someone will want to lick this out. There. Lovely, lovely. This is where a wooden spoon really comes in handy. It just feels right to have a wooden spoon when making your butter. Very carefully. And you'll notice that as the buttermilk sits, there'll be a crust of butterfat rise to the top of that. Here's the amount of buttermilk we've got. So we have got this much worth in butter. So generally I've found that 1/3 of our cream turns into butter. Now we dump this into our bowl. And this is the part where it's nice if it's not too warm. If the cream is just below room temperature, it makes it easier because then it doesn't smear quite so much everywhere. So now what we do is we just cover this with cold water and we wash it. So we want to get as much buttermilk out of this butter as we can, and that will make the butter more shelf stable because the buttermilk will make it turn sour sooner. And you just work your butter. You could get your hands in it if they're clean, and it's actually really good if you have dry hands. All that oil would be very, very good for your skin. And you'll know once you've washed all the buttermilk out because the water will no longer be creamy. It'll be clear. You can save this buttermilk water. There's a bit of buttermilk in it. And you could give it to your animals, put it in your compost. So we poured off the milky water and we do the same thing over again. Cold water, wash it, and just keep repeating that until the water turns clear. So this is our third washing. If you're planning on using your butter right away for cooking or whatever, I wouldn't necessarily worry about doing another washing, but I think we'll do it. And the butter's getting stiffer now because of the cold water. And after you have finished washing your butter. If you like salted butter, now is the time to add it. I found that butter needs less salt than I would think it does. Good. And now we put our butter in the fridge to firm up, and we will use it as we need it. Thanks for watching, and let us know how you made butter or how your mom or your grandmother made butter. We'd love to hear from you. Till next time, take care.